Hello, this is Leanne at Learn English with Be Global, and today we will be learning vocabulary for restaurants and eating. First things first, when you come to a restaurant, someone will greet you. They will normally be at some kind of high table called a podium at the front of the restaurant. This person, if they are female, you will call them a hostess. If they are male, they are called a host. Again, this is the first person to greet you when you walk into the restaurant. They will typically say hello, good evening, or good afternoon if you're there for lunch, and then they will ask you, how many people are in your party? This question doesn't have anything to do with having a party. When they ask you, how many people are in your party, they're saying, can you please tell me how big of a table I need to get? Tell me how many people you have so I can figure out how big of a table I need to seat you at. So, here's the sentence. How many people are in your party? If I'm by myself, I just say one, or a party of one. If I have two people, I can just say two, or a party of two. Then the host or hostess will get some menus. A menu is what you use to understand which foods you can order from the restaurant. Let me write that down for you. You will follow the host or hostess to your table, and then they will pass out the menus. On the menu, you will typically find 3 courses. The courses usually consist of an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. Let's explore these a bit more. So, like I said, on the menu, you have courses. The first thing you will see is appetizers. The first course is the appetizer course. Appetizers typically consist of soups, salads, or small plates. Often, people share appetizers because they still want to be hungry for their main course or the main meal. So, for your appetizer, you could pick from the soups, salads, or small plates. When the waitress comes back to your table, she is going to ask you, what can I get you started to drink today? You have quite a few choices when she asks you this. If you're not interested in drinking, or you have children who would like a beverage other than water, you can look at the soft drinks part of the menu. Typically, a restaurant will have Coca-Cola products or Pepsi products. You should ask them for a wine menu, or their drinks menu, or their beer menu. The drinks menu typically contains alcoholic beverages. So, you typically want to ask the waitress if something has alcohol in it, if you're concerned, if you find it on the drinks menu. So, the waitress comes over. She says, "What can I get for you to drink tonight?" You say, "Coca-Cola, please." The waitress says, "Okay," writes down everyone else's drink orders as well, and then goes to the kitchen to put in your drink orders and give you some time to look at the menu. Now, we already went over the appetizers. At this time, when the waitress is taking your drink order, if you already know what kind of appetizer you would like to have, it's definitely okay to order your appetizer at this time. In fact, if you know what your main course is that you would like to eat at this time, you can order a main course. Of course, you do not have to order an appetizer. It is perfectly okay to only order a main course if that's all you want. At some restaurants, they will bring you complimentary chips and salsa or complimentary bread and butter. You may want to ask them if they have any complimentary appetizers before you order a paid appetizer. Let's look at main courses. Main courses are typically larger portion sizes. What is a portion size? The portion is the amount of food piled on your plate. A large portion typically means that the plate is pretty much full. A small portion typically means that the plate is only partially full. Depending on how hungry you are, you may want to ask the waitress how big the portion sizes are for some meals. Let's look at some examples of main courses. One example of a main course could be a steak. Another example could be fried chicken. Another example could be spaghetti and meatballs. So now you're looking at the main courses. The waitress has brought your drinks back to your table. And she says, "Is there anything I can get started for you?" This usually means that she's asking if you want an appetizer. You can say, "I think we need a minute." Or you can order an appetizer if you're ready to order an appetizer. Or you can order a main course if you're ready for a main course. There is also the possibility, if you see something on the appetizer menu that you would like to eat as a main course, you can request to have this appetizer as a main course. You can simply say, "I would like to order this soup, but can you please bring it with the main course?" And the waitress will definitely understand what that means. So as she goes around, she'll say, "What would you like?" "I'm going to order the steak." To order the steak, I should say, "I would like the steak, please." Let me write that down for you. Another way of saying this is, can I please have the steak? Both of these ways to ask for food are polite, and the waitress will understand either one of them. Now, after you ask for your food, she may ask you, and which side would you like with that? Oftentimes, main courses will come with a side dish, something that's eaten with the main course, but comes on the plate with the main course and can be ordered separately. Usually, a restaurant will have a list of side dishes to choose from. If you're at a place that's serving steak, some of the side dishes may include things like soups and salads, like you would order for an appetizer, or it could also include things like mashed potatoes, green beans, or seasonal fruit. The term seasonal fruit means that if you're ordering this side in the summer, you're going to get foods that in that region are ripe in the summer. If you're ordering in the fall, for example, seasonal fruit may include things like peaches that are typically ripe in the fall. If you're not sure, or if you have any allergies to foods, you definitely want to check with the waitress and ask her, what are the seasonal fruits? After your waitress goes around the table and takes all of your main orders and side orders from the table, you will have a little while to wait. While you're waiting, if you ordered an appetizer, the waitress will bring you an appetizer. If there is a free appetizer, such as chips and salsa or bread, as we discussed, this appetizer will typically be brought at this time. If there are no complimentary appetizers and you didn't order one, you may have to just wait for usually 15 to 20 minutes. Be patient and understand that depending on what you ordered, it could take quite a bit of time. Now, there's one thing that I forgot to go over. If you are at a restaurant that has steak or hamburgers or eggs, they may ask you, how would you like that? So let's quickly go over a couple different options for the kinds of ways to ask your meat or eggs to be cooked. For meat, let's take steak as an example. Meat can be rare. This means that it is cooked just a bit, just barely cooked, basically braised. It could be medium. This means that it might still be slightly pink on the inside, but it is fairly well cooked. If you don't want any pink in the middle of your meat, ask for well done. This means that when you cut into your steak or burger, it should be cooked completely through without any pink. For food safety, if you are concerned, it's best to get it more well done rather than getting it rare. For eggs, It's a bit different. You can get eggs over easy. This means that the egg won't be cooked very well. The white part of the egg will typically be hard, but the yellow yolk will be very runny. In fact, the yellow yolk should be sitting on top of the white part of the egg. Over medium typically means that the white part of the egg is hard and covering the yolk. The yolk itself will still be quite runny. There's also the option to get eggs over hard. This means that both the yellow part of the egg and the white part of the egg will be cooked until they are hard. The yellow part of the egg is called the yolk, and the white part of the egg is typically referred to just as the white part of the egg, or the egg white. If you are unsure what you're ordering, ask the waitress. They will be happy to explain it to you. Another option is to get your eggs poached. Poached eggs are typically cooked so that the yolk is still runny, but they're cooked with water rather than oil. There is also the option to get scrambled eggs. Scrambled means the eggs have been beaten, and so when you get the eggs, it will be a pile of eggs rather than an intact yolk with the white around it. Scrambled eggs. So, by this time, your food is probably ready. The waitress will bring the food over to your table, and you can start eating. It's typically polite to wait until everyone has their food before you start. After you're done eating the main dish, the waitress will ask you, would you like anything for dessert? Or would you like to see a dessert menu? You can say yes or no. Dessert typically does not come with the meal, so you will be charged extra if you do order dessert. After you order the dessert, it will be another probably 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what you order, to get the dessert, so keep that in mind if you're in a hurry. After eating the dessert, the waitress will either bring you a receipt, which we call the check, or you will have to ask for the check. It is polite to simply say, "Hi, can I have the check, please?" And she'll bring you the check, which shows all of the food that you ordered and all of the prices of the food that you ordered. So that's called the check. You can also ask for the bill. It's the same thing. After you pay the bill, or I should say while you are paying the bill, it is polite to add a tip. Typically, we tip 10% if the service is bad, 15% if the service is average, and 20% if the service is good. Of course, you can always leave no tip, although that is considered to be very rude, or you can leave a bigger tip if you think the waitress deserves it. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.